Today, I am honored to stand before the faculty, staff, families, friends, and most importantly, the remarkable graduating class of 2026 of Palm Beach Atlantic University. What a joy it is to be back here on this stage at this university. The place that 31 years ago handed me a diploma and essentially said, "Good luck, you're gonna need it." They were right. Graduates, as you stand on the precipice of your young adult lives, I know it feels both thrilling and terrifying at the same time. Some of you have a plan, you have a job offer, you have a 5-year roadmap, you have a color-coded spreadsheet. To you, I say congratulations, that's amazing. The rest of us just put together our LinkedIn profiles, got overwhelmed, and took a nap. So, if that's not you, all prepared and ready to go, if you're receiving your diploma today and have no idea what comes next, I want you to listen very carefully. You are going to be okay. And I know that because I was you. When I graduated from Palm Beach Atlantic in 1995, I was so happy to be finished, but I was very anxious about my future. I had a political science degree and a strong yearning to make a difference in the world, but I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do with my life. That's it, no plan, no pipeline. After graduating, I moved from Florida to Washington, D.C., and then it took me 7 years to find my path. 7 years. But after that long wait, my husband Joseph and I were recruited by the Central Intelligence Agency to serve our country as undercover intelligence officers. Joseph, a persecuted Christian from Egypt, was gifted a full tuition scholarship by PBA after being denied an education because of his family's Christian ministry in Egypt. Joseph and I were hired into the CIA months before 9/11. And then we served together for 10 years in the Arab world, working as counterterrorism officers. Our jobs were to stop terror attacks from happening. So how does a confused graduate transform into a CIA spy? Today, I want to share 3 things that made the difference for me and might help you out as well. Okay, number 1, make adventurous choices early on. Be curious about the world. Seek to understand that which eludes you. Learn new things. Build the resume of an explorer. After I left PBA, my years in DC looked scattered and confused on the outside, but something important was happening. I was studying Arabic, which I will tell you is not what most people do for fun on a Saturday morning. I was attending policy forums on Capitol Hill, and I was reading everything I could get my hands on about international affairs, religion, terrorism, and culture. So when I was at PBA, when students studied abroad in London, I studied abroad in Cairo. When my friends traveled to Europe for pleasure, I traveled to Kuwait, Egypt, Morocco, and Israel to learn, to understand, to see the world as it actually was, and to have something more than book knowledge. So if everyone went left, I wanted to go right. Eventually, those strange, nonlinear, why is she doing that choices led me to Georgetown University's School of Foreign Service, where I earned a master's degree in contemporary Arab studies. And that degree pre-positioned me, without me even knowing it, for recruitment by the CIA. Until that point, my degree was considered pretty strange and esoteric. But on September the 12th, it was the most sought-after background for government employers. So here's the lesson. Don't be so anxious about the destination that you miss the development. The end goal will materialize when it's supposed to. Your job now is to become someone worth using. Okay, number 2, and this is extremely countercultural. Be willing to do hard things. Be willing to go where others won't. Be willing to do what others don't want to do. My husband Joseph and I were willing to serve wherever needed, and because of that, we were sent to places that others rejected. When coveted CIA assignments opened up in countries with beautiful architecture, fine dining, world-class hotels, basically the good life, we struggled with postings in numerous countries I'm still not permitted to share. However, these countries were known for endless fighting, weapons bazaars, kidnapping, carjacking, and a general hatred of foreigners. Fun stuff. But here's what I know. You learn a whole lot more in the trenches than you learn in the ivory towers. In fact, in my book, Breaking Cover, I write about how the most valuable lessons of my CIA career did not come from a training facility in Virginia. They came from war zones, from working with terrorists and insurgents, dealing with lying sources and double agents and fabricators, and navigating counterterrorism work at the sharp end of history. The hardest tour, Baghdad, was the one where I contributed the most. The place that I tried to avoid was the place where I really came into my own, where I learned my tradecraft as an intelligence officer, and the place that I shined. This is not a coincidence. This is a principle. In CIA terms, we're told how to survive an ambush. So if someone's trying to kill you, you've got the X is defined as the kill zone. So in order to survive the kill zone, this is the place where you're the most vulnerable, most exposed, and most in danger. The training that they give us is very simple. You've got to get off the X. Don't stay where you are because that's where you die. That applies to more than counterterrorism. It applies to your career, your relationships, your faith. It applies to every moment in your life when you feel stuck and the comfortable choice is just to stay put. Staying on the X feels safe, but staying on the X is how dreams die. So the hard thing you're avoiding might be exactly where God is calling you to go. And finally, number 3, probably the most important one, trust God no matter what. Trusting God is not a feeling. It's not something that happens to you on a good day when everything is going your way. Trusting God is an intentional, deliberate choice, often made in the dark when you cannot see the next step. I had to trust God during those 7 wandering years after graduation when I had no clear direction and couldn't explain to my family what I was doing or why. I had to trust God, remember this, when every door in front of me slammed shut. And here is what I've come to understand about those closed doors. God was not being cruel. He was preventing me from charging down 100 wrong directions. He wasn't blocking my future. He was protecting me for an assignment that I didn't even know existed. I had to trust God when the most intimidating door finally opened and led me into the CIA. I had to trust God when rockets exploded around us every single day in Baghdad, when the darkness in the world felt overwhelming, when it felt profoundly unfair that we were in some godforsaken conflict zone while my friends and colleagues were living their best lives in European capitals. But Proverbs 3 says it plainly, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not onto your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. I did not understand my path for a long time, but God did, and he was faithful to straighten it. Class of 2026, I can tell you, from a life lived in some of the most dangerous and uncertain corners of the world, the most powerful thing you will ever carry into the field is not a security clearance, not a credential, and not a strategy. It is faith. Active, stubborn, refusing to let go faith. The world you are walking into is complex and constantly changing. You don't control that. but you do control the kind of person you will be in it. My prayer for you is not that it will be easy, but that it will be meaningful, that you will know what's worth fighting for, that you will have the courage to get off the X when you feel stuck, that you will lean into hard things instead of running from them, and that when the path gets dark, and it will get dark, you will choose deliberately and stubbornly to trust the one who can see around every corner. You've been educated at a university that dares to put Christ at the center of everything. Don't leave that here today. Carry it with you into your boardrooms, your living rooms, your mission fields, and your marketplaces. Because I can tell you this, that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when their faith is greater than their fear. Graduates, now it's your turn. Step out, break cover, get off the X, and go change the world. Congratulations.